You might think that divorce would be the last thing on your mind when you're heading up the aisle. Lawyers, though, say they've seen a big increase in the number of couples signing prenuptial agreements. Resolution, a group which represents 6,000 lawyers across England and Wales, say the number has doubled in the last 12 months and gone up tenfold over the last 5 years.
Did you do all the buttons? Yes, please.
The final adjustments are being made to Anil's suit for his wedding day today. While the suit is traditional, the prenuptial agreement he and his fiancée have signed is a very modern addition. It sets out in black and white what happens to the assets a couple bring into their marriage and their earnings during it, should they divorce.
We decided to take out a prenup between us because both our parents helped us to buy a property, so we felt that it was the right decision, that any worry they had about us being together for a short period of time were lost in the fact that we'd have a prenup to separate things should something go wrong. I hope that we would go forever.
A succession of high-profile divorces ending in huge settlements have raised awareness of prenuptial agreements. That and people getting married later in life, often with complicated family arrangements, has meant there's been a huge increase in the numbers of couples signing them.
There's been a tenfold increase in prenups. I'm doing considerably more now than I've ever done before, and I think that experience is mirrored around the rest of the country from lawyers that I speak to. People are doing it because they want to be able to sort this stuff out now rather than later on.
Around 45% of marriages end in divorce. While prenuptial agreements are still relatively rare, more are coming before the courts. Prenuptial agreements are already common in the USA. They're also binding in many European countries. They are enforceable in Scotland, but that's not the case in England and Wales, although courts are increasingly paying more attention to them. They do have to be fair and freely entered into to be enforceable. Now the Law Commission in England and Wales is to start a public consultation into whether they should be enforceable. It won't report until 2012, but the Conservatives say that's not good enough.
If we win the next election, and we aren't taking anything for granted, we have to win the trust of the public. We want to bring in a fairly wide-ranging divorce law reform bill, and I'm very keen that part of it will include prenuptials and indeed making prenuptials enforceable in law, but subject to very strict safeguards.
Some family lawyers say people may feel pressurised into signing them, and making prenups binding would be a disaster.
The whole emphasis of the media is on divorce reform, and I actually think that we should be looking much more at marriage. Marriage is much too easy, and I have to say that if I was asked to enter into a prenuptial agreement as a condition of getting married, I wouldn't get married.
At this wedding fair in Bristol, few couples are thinking about anything but their big day and happy ever afters. Prenups are not on the menu for most.
If you trust one another, then there's not necessarily any point in having a prenup.
It definitely gives marriage a cynical edge to it, I think.
Actually, if it fits some people, they should do it.
They may not be seen as romantic, but as more couples consider them and there's political will to make them binding, prenuptial agreements may soon become a normal part of wedding preparations. Keith Doyle, BBC News.